Log number 8, permanence. Your key philosophy needs to say something about impermanence. We had that log the last time. This log is not permanence. Your key philosophy also needs to respond to the question of permanence. So we're not done yet with Socrates. Poor Socrates. We now tell the myth of Socrates. Warning, if you can't stay sober, philosophy could drown you. The infamous philosopher Socrates had such a bad drinking problem that he literally drank himself to death. But not even suicide by drinking could quench his thirst for wisdom. According to the myth, Socrates' soul was sucked up into a tunnel and delivered to the edge of a whirlpool, generated by the opposing forces of philosophy gods Heraclitus and Parmenides. And the whirlpool spoke to Socrates. I am the vortex of confusion. If you seek true wisdom, you must dive through me with closed mouth. But should even one drop of my waters pass your lips, I will drown you for good. Are you thirsty enough to quench your thirst for wisdom for once and for all? And as Socrates stepped into the vortex, piercing its surface, piercing the superficial surface, everything became liquid. And the vortex of confusion spoke. Everything you find isn't really here. All passes by. Bye. Every time you repeat a word, it's another word. Every time you look into the mirror, you see another you. What identifies you is liquid. What does not stay the same is not identical. What is not identical is not identifiable. What keeps changing its identity cannot really be known. Real identity and true knowledge are unfindable. Whatever you do, you will never find yourself. Whirling in the liquid, Socrates became too motion sick to keep his mouth sealed. Nothing is still, he regurgitated. And the vortex of confusion spoke, joke alert. Who speaks of nothing has nothing to say. Now careful, unfindable does not mean non-existent. Just because stillness can't be found doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because reality can't be found doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you cannot find yourself doesn't mean the self does not exist. And Socrates said, bloop, bloop, bloop. In life and death, Socrates thought drinking helps with thinking. Socrates tried to think as deep, he's on record, he said that on record, as the philosophy gods Heraclitus and Parmenides. But reaching the bottom of a bottle doesn't mean reaching the bottom of it all. Learn from Socrates. Don't get drunk on what you think. Mini lecture takeaway. What question does the mini lecture throw up for you? Consider, what does it have to do with philosophy? What does it have to do with you? Think about some questions.